Hi everybody, it's Mark Powers from Imagine Better, and this is episode 11, and look who I have in the Imagine Better studio today, Jo Bruce herself. Jo, thanks for coming on the show.
Okay, Mark Powers, first of all,
Yes.
your name is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Words and names are wonderful and can really be memorable, so you leave your mark. Mark,
yeah.
and you're full of power. He's got the power. Mark Powers. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here
Thank
today
you.
with you. Thank you for inviting me.
I've been so excited. Normally I get like super nervous, but I've been following you around on the old interwebs here for a minute, and I just feel so comfortable with you, you know. And then prior to this, I mean, today when we were getting my coffee and stuff, you had so many nice things to say, and I was like, oh, it's cool. I don't have to be that nervous or anything. So.
Okay, well, that's interesting you say that, because I said to you,
You said that, yeah.
I am a keynote speaker and I coach people, but I was a little excited / nervous for this reason.
Yeah.
You've had some amazing people on your show, Mark,
Yes,
and
yes.
I followed and watched you. And you are a great interviewer because you really like to hear other people's stories, which
Yes.
is awesome. So you're very generous in that. But you've had a couple people on here that were dynamite. Princess Castleberry, which, by the way, talk about names.
Hey, princess.
Are you kidding me? Princess Castleberry, phenomenal human being.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
Jacob Brown.
Oh, God.
Watching him.
Jacob, you're a rock star too,
Jacob.
brother. Thank you.
Seriously, you've had phenomenal people, and the list goes on. But
Yeah.
every time I've watched the show, I've walked away learning something and gleaning something, and
Thank you.
they have helped me better my best.
Yeah, yeah. What a good segue, you guys. I mean, I may or may not just happen to have a copy of Joel's book right here, Better Your Best. What inspired you? Let's just start off like that. What inspired you to write this bad boy? And I know it's going to be your legacy for your children and grandchildren. So if I can get this thing to stand up, there we go.
Okay.
Let's
Stay still, stand up, stay.
Throw the powers on it.
Good, yeah, good juju from Toto. Okay, so
We'll just dive into that.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so way back in the day, I used to be a nurse.
Okay.
In my former life, long time ago. And I actually used to write little articles to Reader's Digest.
Did you really?
Yeah, most people don't
That's
know that.
a name I haven't
Even my
heard in
family
years.
members go, I didn't know that. I go, yeah, I used to. Now, none of them were published, but in high school, I did pretty darn good in writing. In college nursing school, I
Right.
helped someone write articles. So writing's always been within me. And for close to 30 years, I'm like, I need to write a book. So this has been a work in progress for
Yeah.
20 to 30 years. And at one point in time, I was going to co-write a book with my younger brother, who's a college football coach.
Interesting.
And we were going to collaborate, and for various reasons that didn't happen. But I will tell you how this really came to be was during COVID. To me, the whole world changed then. And I changed along with world, meaning everybody withdrew and became
Right.
more isolated, and things weren't the same.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was asked by a group of people to do a virtual motivational talk for an hour.
Okay.
And I decided to call it Better Your Best During Global Unrest.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, being invited to this, it was an optimist group.
Okay.
And the people in this optimist group had been together for many, many years. And most of them were business people, entrepreneurs. They're pretty strong, successful people, but they wanted me to do this thing. So first I have to say this. Part of bettering your best, B-E-S-T, is that you have to build on your confidence.
Right.
And you have to step out of your comfort zone, which, by the way, you write about all this to a different title. Everything sucks some of the time. But you and I, similar philosophies. You have to step outside of yourself. So COVID actually forced me to do that because they wanted me to do this Zoom presentation. And that wasn't my forte. I like this. I like person-to-person live energy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did this, Better Your Best During Global Unrest. When I was done with that talk, a gentleman called me and left me a message. And he said, "Joe, you don't know me, but I was in the group you spoke to, and I really liked what you had to say.
Right.
And your voice need to be out there more. and his name is Jim Tooman, and he's in my book. And Jim Tooman started Jimmy's Kids, and he's a sociologist. He's won all kinds of awards. PBS did a movie about his life, by the way. So if anybody wants to look up Jim Tooman, you'll see who he is. And he's spoken to over 2 million people all over the country. He's loving and inspiring. But anyway, he called me then live, and he goes, Joe, I just want you to know I really liked what you said and how you said it. And then he goes, so I'm sure you have a book. And I go, well, for a lot of years it's been the making. And he said to me, seriously, he goes, you got to do it, and you have to do it now. He said, do you know how many people I go into their homes and they started a book, they died, like they never finished it, so you got to do your book. So he kept coming at me like, why? Why do you want to write a book? Which, in my book, Even Better Your Best, the big thing is, what is your why in life?
Right.
You write about that in yours. What is your big why? And so when I really stopped to think about it, I'm like, my why is because I've had the privilege and honor of working with some amazing people over 30 years.
Right.
So my why is to leave the legacy of good words from lots of people, a variety of voices. And that's what I'm really proud of that's in my book.
I'm still not done reading through. Like I love reading, but I'm not a power reader. It takes me a while because I've never been diagnosed with ADD, but I know I'm squirrel. I'm all over the place. But you know what I love about this book is that, I mean, first of all, you have some amazing people that say superstar things about you. You have impacted all of their lives, and from what I can see or tell, you still are good friends with these individuals. And there was I'm gonna say it because this stood out. Don't memorize anything all the time, but it stood out. And you saw this, Dr. Mel Campbell, and it was
page 17.
It was page
I can tell you right now.
18. I
is
thought.
it 18? Okay.
I think maybe you're right. Let me see here.
I think he starts on page 17.
He starts on 17. So yes, you're right. Page 18. I'm trying to find it because this. Oh, right here. As you grow in your path, help others grow, and you will grow. When I read that, I was having coffee this past weekend, and I was reading your book, and that jumped out at me. So I actually wrote a post on it and put it across LinkedIn, and then he responded too, thanking me for that. But that just hit me. But there's so many more in this book like that, and it's just, I love it. And so you did a great job. So bravo. Seriously, bravo. Because what's next after this?
Thank you. Well, I do have a second book in the making, but I want to say one more thing about the first one. Why I'm so proud of it is because it's not prescriptive. I don't prescribe to people how they should better their best. It asks people questions to answer for themselves. And Mark, you know that. We all have to do self-discovery.
Oh my God.
You have to discover the leader within you. You have to discover the best human being within you. And that forces you to stop and reflect and respond to those questions. And so in the book, my questions, I thought that every human being on the planet would be interested in is, what's your definition of success? What's your recipe for it? I love to cook and make food, so I'm like, what's the special ingredients that make someone unique and different? We can all follow someone else's exact recipe in a drink or a meal, but it's when you add in your own special ingredients that you make it your signature thing. Well, that's all of us as human beings.
I agree with that.
We all have our own spice of life, like who we are, what we bring to the table, right? What do you bring to the table? What's your recipe? So what I love about my book is that it's not my singular voice. It's 30 amazing people who, I've had the privilege and honor to get to know and love and become friends with.
Out of all of those individuals, is there one in particular that really just stands out and just, when you wrote this thing and you're putting the finishing touches, you go, wow. I mean, that's probably hard. Sorry, everybody, if you're in here and she's, but I'm curious because that would be difficult, but there has to be one story or something in here that just goes, wow, that impacted my life. Maybe not.
Okay. And again, I'm like, there's that question. Pick one out of the 30.
Yeah.
That's, it's like choosing on the basketball team. Whoever I choose first, then the rest of them go, well, she didn't pick me first.
Right.
But I will tell you, no, there are 30 people that I call them my GOATs.
Yeah.
The greatest of all times.
Yeah.
So they're all so unique and special in all their ways. I will say this, some of them have done spectacular things more in a professional arena.
Yeah.
That then you go, wow, look at that person. So I will say in my book, John Fickney, he's made a huge difference in the city of Detroit and just who he is. He sits on many boards. He's a loving, giving person.
Yeah.
I will say in my book, Mel Campbell, who took the Dale Carnegie course from me, by the way, when he was 15 years of age.
Wow,
He couldn't even drive then, so I would drive him to the class. So who he is now as this motivational speaker and writing books,
that's amazing.
That's just a really unique, amazing story. Gilda Jacobs is in there. This is a lady who became Michigan Women of, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get all this, Democratic Party, amazing. Yeah. But her daughter was killed on an Amtrak train accident. I don't think you've gotten to her yet.
I haven't.
Okay.
I would know that story.
Her daughter died, and then her husband, John, who I knew him, was an attorney. He developed dementia, but right before he died, she had a mini stroke.
Oh my God.
But when you read her story, it is gut-wrenching and inspiring at the same time. Yeah. So many of these stories in there, I say the people hit you where you live. They hit you intellectually, but they hit you in your heart, and they hit you in your gut.
Right.
So what I like about all the different stories is the people are very relatable.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody can relate to them, and they inspire.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pick just one, but I did mention two.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just curious because whenever you go through life and you meet some awesome people, like if somebody asked me that question, about this show, I couldn't give one example of somebody who, because everyone, including yourself, impacts my life beyond this show, because I'm in a place in my life of new learning and new growth. Right? And these conversations, and then, the ones that come in, I do have books I read, and I own all of them. And the ones that are in the books are in process, like Jacob Brown, Get Your Butt in Gear. I look forward to that. But I learn. And, going through life is, sometimes life just feels heavy for all of us. At least I can speak for myself. And then you got to analyze, why does it feel that heavy? Right? You break down your personal life. Then you got to break down subcategories in personal. Then you go to business, do the same. And then you get to, how do I become, a better version of myself? Better, your best. And what a great title, by the way. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Thank you. Well, okay, so two things then, and you just made me think of somebody else I do want to mention from my book. But Better Your Best was my tagline probably 20, 25 years ago, when I would do workshops at companies where they wanted me to do a training for their top executives.
Okay.
And I would go, I don't want them to feel like something's wrong with them, like they're less than.
Right.
So I came up one day with one of my dear friends who unfortunately is no longer with us, Dennis Walsh. I love and adore you. He died during COVID. Mm-hmm. Dennis would be in my book if he was still here on this planet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But Dennis, I went and he wanted me to train his executives, and I said, Dennis, let's think about what we should call this. I go, they're your best, right? He goes, oh yeah, Joe, they're awesome. But he believed in everybody can just always keep growing and learning and evolving. That's what we do. If you're the best, you're always doing that. And I go, well, how about we just call it Better Your Best? They're already your best. But what could they do to be even a little bit better?
Yeah.
So that became my thing, and when I went to do the book, I tried to come up with all these other snazzier titles, but I really like Better Your Best. And by the way, I like Better Your Best is BYB, which ultimately I want BYB in the D.
Yes.
Or in any city, but it's BYB. But the other person I wanted to mention when you asked about
that should be a hashtag for you.
Well, yes, thank you. Yes, hashtag. Well,
research it first and see what's behind it.
What's behind it? Okay, Dan Campbell, would you like that BYB in the
That's
D?
right.
Dan Campbell is making the D BYB.
Right.
But the one other person I wanted to mention in my book is Susie Dahlman. And
Okay,
don't know
I
if
haven't
you
got to that
her.
one yet.
Okay, Susie Dahlman, I have to talk
At least
about.
I don't think so.
Okay, Susie Dahlman is the founder of Reaching Higher, and I'm currently a instructor facilitator of Reaching Higher.
Okay.
And Reaching Higher is a program that has been around for 27 years.
Yeah.
25,000 plus people
my.
have taken the course Reaching Higher. It's in schools, in school system for kids
Okay.
to build their confidence, get rid of limiting
I love
beliefs,
that.
set goals. But I was invited in to be a facilitator, but to, I don't know what you want to say, upgrade, adapt it to adults.
Okay.
So now we have, it's called Reaching Higher for Professionals. So it's Reaching Higher for Pros. It's a course I now teach virtually, and we have many other instructors.
Okay.
And so we do it virtually, which again came out of COVID. Coming out of COVID, I learned that I could be comfortable
Right.
teaching and talking virtually.
Yeah.
And so we have this course now. But Susie Dahlman, I call her in my book, she's my spiritual compass. Susie Dahlman is very inspiring. She's faith-filled. She was a second grade school teacher who was going along life and was happy, happy, happy. And
Right.
then she had a car accident. A semi-truck hit her. She was in a coma for 8 hours. The doctor came in, declared her brain dead or damaged. She didn't think she'd ever get back to doing what she loved, which was teaching. And she had to learn everything again, and she went
I
back.
can't even imagine.
She went back to teaching, and like little kids would ask her, "Hey, can you help me tie my shoe?" And she was like, "I don't know if I remember how to do that." And she was terrified that people would think she was dumb.
Right.
And she was terrified she might lose her job as a teacher. So I have to tell you the one thing, and I'm sitting here with this heart that does say, "Good Juju from JoJo." So it's Juju from JoJo. But Susie said she wrote on her hand
Yeah.
a big heart, like love the children. She said, if I can't operate from here, I can always operate from here. And at
Oh,
least
that's
I can
awesome.
come in and love them. And she got Teacher of the Year that year awarded. And she went on to teach, and life is going along, and
Yeah.
she had a vision about Reach Higher. So Reaching Higher was, how do I even bring more to the kids? So she started up Reaching Higher. And life was going good. And I say, until it wasn't. And then she got a phone call from her daughter, who was 33 at the time, and said, "Mom, I have cancer."
Oh, no.
So a very rare form of cancer, and she had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Her daughter did, Jenny.
Yeah.
So again, Susie's like, what? Oh my gosh. And so she was with her daughter for probably 3 years going through all this.
Right.
But she said the one thing that was her saving grace that got her back to living a life of love and purpose was to come back and do Reaching Higher with kids
like that.
and give love back. So I just wanted to bring that up though, because Susie's very, very inspiring, and the founder of this course that has changed lives,
Right.
because she leads with love. And part of my book, The Better Your Best, is all the people that are in there. The greatest thing you can do is lead from here.
Yeah.
Lead with love, your
Yeah.
legacy of love. That's the thing to do. And I did want to mention for a second about this Reaching Higher for professionals. We just recently got an opportunity to partner with Focus Hope.
Awesome. I love that organization.
One of the higher ups happened to meet somebody that was down taking a tour, and this
Yeah.
person from Kennedy Industries, it's one of the companies I do training with,
Right.
they were down there and they're like, hey, we think you might like this Reaching Higher for Professionals. Why don't you take a look at it? So one of them came in and took the course, and they're like, this is amazing. So the next person, a director, took the course with
Right.
me and said, this is phenomenal. Let's bring this into all the people we train at Focus Hope. And I didn't know this about Focus Hope, and maybe you know more than I knew. I went down and took a tour. They package food for
Yeah.
like 45,000 people every month.
Right.
But they do training for people. They have to be 18 and older, but they teach them in IT and manufacturing
Yeah.
and get them really good jobs. they really contribute to the economy. Anyway, they're
And they've been around for a long time.
Long time. But they're always evolving, and that's my other key thing. Better Your Best is you always have to keep educating yourself and evolving about new things.
Right.
So this partnership with Focus Hope now is they want us to come in and train like 500, 550 people a year.
Good job.
By them taking this Reaching Higher for Professionals course.
Right.
And again, it's only 6 weeks long, but it equips people with believing themselves to the deepest part of themselves.
Right.
So it's going to be part of their onboarding system for all these people. And I only share that because, to me, when you have something good, which you do, Mark,
Thank you.
good attracts good. And you want to be around that, and you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And you just want people to know there are things out there that you can continuously do to keep building yourself,
Right.
to better your best.
Yeah.
And
See, I love that because, again, it's having those types of resources and providing that type of guidance. There's so many people in our world that just, they need some support. They need those resources. They need help. And so many people are afraid to ask for that.
yes.
So you asked me earlier, why did I really start this show?
Yes.
and I don't think my answer was that great, but I mean, honestly, I feel this is my way of giving back and helping reaching people across multiple communities. And if I can impact one person or one family's life, then job well done. And everyone that comes on this show, I mean, they're contributing so much to that cause, that mission. And, I'm just getting started. I have other ideas and plans for this show, but right now I'm just getting into this thing, right? In every episode, not so much right now. When I first started this thing, oh my God, I was freaked out sitting here going, oh, hey, and then having people like yourself on here, I was just like, man, they're way more accomplished, and they're in the day grind of what they do, and here I am just trying to stick my head up out of the cave, looking around and going, okay, I can go now. I can do something with my life again. And so it's been inspiring, and it motivates me to do this every week. Like, it takes a lot to build a show like this and to promote it, but I love it.
Okay, so this is me being me.
Yeah.
It takes a whole lot, but it takes somebody like you whose intention is to better everyone's best.
Yes.
To make the world a better place. So you ask yourself, what can I do?
Yeah.
What's one thing I can do to facilitate people feeling better, thinking better, living better? And you do this because you have skills and talents, because you are a visual person, because you're a good communicator, because you have an honest heart, because you're a humble person, Mark. You're able to do this, and you want to bring out the best in other people, and you just want people to hear about good things in life.
Yeah.
So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And even though his book says everything sucks, sometimes he talks about all the good things in life and what to do so it doesn't suck so much.
That's right. Get rid of the suckitude, everyone.
Yes, you did say them there. I love it. Suckitude.
Suckitude. Is that even a real word? I don't know. It is now, I guess.
Oh, I make up words all the time.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's right.
That's creativity. That's awesome.
So, you have such an amazing past. Your present moment is stellar. I mean, what's the why behind what's behind the why of Joe? You have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
You enjoy cooking.
I do.
You mentioned recipe and throwing a little bit of what you enjoy that makes it yours. I look at that and say, we're all on this life journey. The recipe that differs is the collection of experiences across each of our journeys that make us unique and beautiful, right? That's, to me, like the little recipe of life, right? There's all those collections of experiences. And getting behind the why of that fascinates me about people. It's we all have a story, right? And that story, some's bad, some's ugly, some's good, some just it still needs a lot of it's being shaped, right? I know in my life, I've had all that, and my life is still shaping, right?
Yes.
But what's behind the why of Joe Bruce?
Okay, Reader's Digest. As you're asking that question, I'm like, Reader's Digest. I come from a big Catholic family. I'm the middle child from Orville, Ohio, home of Smucker's Jelly and Bobby Knight.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
Yeah.
But I consider Orville Norman Rockwell town.
Okay.
But being a middle child in a big family, guess what middle children become? They become extroverts and need some attention from the outside world because you got so many kids going on in the house.
Yeah.
But I learned at a very young age, and I will say this, I think some people are born more positive than negative, and that's been proven. Some people just have it, and I do thank God every day that I am an optimist. I'm a positive person, always have been, captain of the cheerleaders, la la la. That's how I see life, and so I'm
I love your energy. I mean, it's high energy.
Thank you.
Big heart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I'm blessed with that. And my mom was a nurse, and I became a nurse like my mom.
Yeah.
But anybody who goes into nursing, you want to help and care for people. So I had that example from my mom. But along the way, I met my husband, Bruce, who had taken a Dale Carnegie course, and he's more of a laid-back, quiet guy.
Yes.
And I saw him speak one day in front of a group, and he was spectacular. And it surprised me. I go, how'd you get to be so good? And he goes, well, I took a Dale Carnegie course. And I go, well, what's that? And then as he told me, I go, well, I'm going to do it. And I was in sales at the time. I went from nursing into sales.
That's a shift.
Pharmaceutical sales. Not really because I did experimental drug studies in the hospital with patients.
Yes.
So anyway, the drug company came to me and they're like, you would be awesome in sales, because I do have that personality.
Yes, you do.
And I knew about these drugs, how good they did. So they're like, you'd be great in sales. So I switched to pharmaceutical sales, and yes, I did very well, except I was empty inside. I felt like a monkey could have memorized the script. And doctor, this drug is so good for you. No, it left me empty. And then when I met my husband, Bruce, and he said, think about taking a Dale Carnegie course. When I took the course, right away they go, you should instruct this course. And so I taught that course for 10 years, probably over 10,000 people.
Wow.
So that in and of itself built my confidence, but a lot of the people in my book were students of mine in Dale Carnegie.
Interesting.
And when you help people grow, like Mel Campbell said, when you're helping other people grow, you're growing alongside them. It forges a deep connection relationship. You and I sitting here doing this. Guess what? I feel like we'll be good friends.
Absolutely.
And if not, that's on you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. On you.
Call me. Don't be afraid. But, you know.
Are we going to get coffee today, Joe?
Connections and experiences together along the way. Oh, yeah, wine. We did talk about that. Did you ever tell people?
I think some, no.
Mark had a vineyard at one point in time. I heard that. I found that out behind the scenes. So, yes, ask him about vineyards. And Joe Mama loves to make signature drinks, the Joe Mama. But anyway, just forging those relationships and doing that along the way. So anyway, so I go from being a Carnegie instructor to, after 10 years, starting my own business, which it's been Joe Bruce Training for 30 years now. So, you know, that just developed into my own workshops and keynote speaking. But again, in the back of my mind was always, write the book, Joe, write the book, write the book. Because people would say, where's your book? I'd like to read what you're saying. So this really was a pinnacle in my life. And I have to tell you, Mark, so for anybody, all of us have doubts at times. We have that little voice that goes, what? Who do you think you are? I don't think you can do that. What makes you think you can do that?
I don't have those.
Right? You got your weak voice, and then you have your strong voice over here. Of course you can do that. And there's a video we show in Reaching Higher for Professionals from Sue Enquist. Sue Enquist was the winningest coach in UCLA girls softball. She's in the Hall of Fame as a player and a coach, and she had 65 girls who became Olympians.
Oh my God.
So the little quick video, it's a short little video. She's a TED speaker, but anybody look up Sue Enquist. But I love her short little video. It talks about we all have weak and strong voices, and they go back and forth. And even if you're a champion, that little voice is there all the time.
I'm sure.
So the message at the end of her video, which I love, is let your strong voice have the last word. So, and I'll say it's the devil, the angel. You know, the devil's like, and the angel, let the strong voice have the last word.
Right.
And so that's what people have to do. They have to bring to the table. If I go through BEST, the B is for your beliefs.
Right.
What are your beliefs in life? And you talk about that even in your book. You called it your manifesto.
Yes.
But to me, I just did a training on executive presence with some young leaders. And at the end of the series, I had them stand up and I go, I want you to start with, tell me what your generic belief is about life. What is your belief about leadership? What is your belief about people? Because who you are, what you believe about people has a whole lot to do with how you behave with them and what your expectation is of good things. And I will tell you one of my favorite quotes, I don't know who said it, where I found it, but it said faith, and it's like, I have faith in you. I have faith in myself. Faith is like Wi-Fi. It's invisible, but it has the power to connect you to everything you need.
Oh, I love that. I've never heard that. I'm using it.
Okay, and your name, power, but faith is like Wi-Fi. Invisible, but it does have the power to connect you to everything. So that, to me, bottom line, if anybody's going to ask me, Joe, what do I have to do to better my best? First thing is believe in you. And if you don't believe in you, find other people who do, who believe in you more than you do in yourself until you do, like they do. And that is my gift to other people is I believe in people and I like to build people from their strengths.
Yeah, and everything I've seen thus far on you, I mean, that is your superpower.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, you asked, what are those ingredients? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm really fun, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely high energy. I love it.
But it's important not to take yourself so seriously. I always say, take what you do seriously, but never take yourself so seriously.
Yes.
Life is too important to be taken so seriously.
Yeah.
You've got to find the joy and the laughter. What is it? Again, Reader's Digest, laughter is good medicine. It's good for the soul. But that's one of the ingredients. The second thing, if I'm talking about B, is for bring to life. What are your beliefs? The E is for your energy.
Right.
And the energy comes from how you educate yourself and who you surround yourself with, who you're engaged with.
I like, yes. That's, I mean, that, what do they say? It's the 5 people you surround yourself with is going to kind of dictate or shape who you are as a person. Right?
Yeah.
So you could, if it's almost like the old saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
Good in, good out.
Yeah. Or you're judged by the company you keep.
Correct.
But you have to look at the company you keep. Does this person drag you down, or are they always negative? Are they always whining? Is everything bad? Or do they lift you up? Like from who they are and what they do, does that lift you up? So it's a choice. Choose who you hang out with.
Absolutely. Everywhere, personally, where I'm at in my life, I'm surrounding myself with growth mindsets.
Yes.
And not to say that I have friends that I wouldn't consider growth mindsets, but they're good people.
Yeah.
Good humans, good hearts.
Yeah.
But where I invest a lot of my time are with individuals like yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're even doing this.
Absolutely.
I mean, every single week. And what day is this today, Mark?
Hump day.
It's Wednesday, hump day.
So I'm like, hey, I look forward to Wednesdays, everybody. And Joel's like, it's hump day.
Hump day.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. So when we think about change, because on this show I talk about change a lot and transformation. Yeah. What does that look like to you? And how does better your best help me as an individual, help our audience go through that change and transform themselves? Because change, that's a very surface level word, loosely thrown around. But when you really begin to dig deep in one's soul and you really start to analyze who you are as an individual to get to your better your best, that's where you start to see transformation.
Yeah.
When you hold yourself accountable, you're vulnerable, you're transparent, and you're no longer afraid.
Yeah. Well, you just said the key thing at the end, and I'm like, to me, what change requires is the understanding, first of all, that we all have to evolve to get better.
Right.
So evolution means change.
Exactly.
Evolution is change, which is, again, educating yourself, engaging, but you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And again, you talk about that in your book, like I do. The greatest things happen outside of your comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. So one of my favorite books, and in my book I do put a whole list of my favorite books that I recommend to people, but it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. So to me, you have
feel
to
the fear,
do it anyways.
Oh.
And she's a psychologist. Unfortunately, she died a few years ago, but it's one of the best books ever. And it's okay to acknowledge we're all human beings. You go, ooh, I'm a little nervous about this. That's okay. Push through it.
Yeah.
The fact that you did it and pushed through it, that actually makes you stronger. And it's that old saying, and I put it in my book, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
And there's even Kelly Clarkson made this song, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yep.
But seriously, sometimes we look at something as being uncomfortable as so insurmountable, and it's how we think about it.
Yeah.
So you have to get out of the way of yourself and just do it. So by the way, I am a movie girl. So 2 movies come to mind when I talk about get out of your comfort zone. And I write about them in my book, because Joe Mama loves her movies.
Mama loves her movies.
Okay, one of the movies is We Bought a Zoo. Did you ever see that movie, We Bought a Zoo?
Oh, yes.
Matt Damon.
Yes.
Matt Damon. True story.
Yeah.
After his wife dies, he buys a zoo, has a son and a daughter, buys a zoo, doesn't really know what he's doing, but he takes a leap of faith.
Right.
And he has that faith and works on it. But in there, he's trying to encourage his, I think he's 14-year-old son to have courage to talk to this girl. And he goes, listen, you just got to have 19 seconds of insane courage. And I promise your life will change. And the kid's like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, no. And then towards the end, he takes his son back to the place where he met his mother. He goes, I'm walking past the store. She's sitting there. I'm pacing back and forth, and I'm like, I'm going to go in and meet her. So it shows Matt Damon come in and strike up a conversation with her. And he goes, had I not had those 19 seconds of insane courage, I never would have met your mother. But that's a true story, and I love it.
I like that.
It's phenomenal. The second movie, if you've never seen it, Defending Your Life.
I don't think I've seen
Albert
that one.
Brooks and Meryl Streep. Defending Your Life. Both of them die, but they're in heaven, and heaven has a court.
Okay.
And the court is about whether your brain gets to go further and develop more,
right,
or whether you're still a small brain and you need to go back to Earth and learn your lesson. But it's all about, did you have courage when you were a human being?
Check that one out.
And it shows Albert Brooks when he was scared. He didn't ask for the money he wanted. Like, he kept falling short because he wasn't courageous enough.
Right.
So it's called Defending Your Life. Anyway, humorous,
Like
but it makes the point.
Yeah.
You got to step out and just go for it.
Yeah, yeah. I talk about that too in my book. Step out of your comfort zone. Take the bull by the horns is the very first section, and I get into a little bit of that though. But wow, I mean, this is, I'm blown away today. This is awesome.
Okay, and I will say,
Yes.
just for everybody out there though, writing my book, thought about it for a long time, but actually getting out there was a huge leap of faith, and it was a courageous act for me. Here's why, people. We all have certain things that hit us a certain way. I don't like to be judged. But I thought of that the other day. I'm like, no, Joe, the truth is you don't like to be judged negatively or critically, because we all judge in life.
Yeah.
We judge a movie. We judge a food in a restaurant. We're always judging. We're always analyzing.
Right.
We're always putting ourselves to be judged. But I don't like negative or critical. But writing a book, you've opened yourself up to.
You're not
some
kidding.
will like it, some won't. But you just say to yourself, some will, some won't. Oh well,
next.
move on.
That's
Next.
right.
Yeah.
Who said that? There was a.
That's been around
it's
for
been
a while.
Many. I don't know if that was Zig Ziglar or somebody.
Could be. But it's been around for, but we all get it, like, whatever.
Some will, some won't. Who's next? Or next, or something like that. Yeah.
But your opinion of yourself is what matters most.
Absolutely.
It's who you are, what you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself. And whatever you think and feel, that's what's going to happen in your life. You're going to take action on that. So you had to think, I think I can do a good show.
Yes, sir.
I think I can invite some awesome people, and they'll say yes.
And I've done that.
And you have.
Yeah, we've got I've had an awesome lineup thus far, and you should see who the September lineup is coming. It's just, I'm blown away. You know, this is episode 11, so we're just getting started. I'm just getting started.
11. Goalposts. 11.
Yes, touchdown. So so far it's going great, and I'm getting a tremendous amount of positive feedback. an interest now, people responding and wanting to be on the show. They have a story to tell, and that's what I want to bring. I want to bring those personal and professional stories to help the audience, become better, your best, and so to me that's
not suck so much.
And everything sucks, but only some of the time, guys, But this is my way of giving back to them and a way to present awesomeness at its finest. And I love it. It's great, and I get to meet new friends. Like you and I just met officially today.
I know.
We had a chat a month ago when you thought, like, who the hell is this guy Mark Powers reaching out to me? Why does he want me to be on this? What's this thing called? And then we had a really good phone call, and then here we are.
I know. I was sitting on my deck going, I really like this guy. You're very interesting.
Thank you.
People don't know your whole story. You could do one, just a monologue on Mark.
Right. No.
Mark's monologue, but no, you're very interesting in your background.
Thank you.
But I thank you for inviting me on.
Absolutely.
I'm not still sure how you found me. I think you stalked me out.
I'm trying to remember.
Weird reason.
You know what? Honestly, I did stalk you out. Now I know how I did it. In my network, because on LinkedIn, I don't know, I might have 10,600 and some connections or something like that. Under 11,000. And I was like, okay, who's a speaker? Who's an author in my first connection that I haven't met yet? So I went out, and then I go to their websites, and so I went to your website. I look at your little about section on LinkedIn, and I'm like, okay, this is what Jo does. Let's see what she does. Let's see what her website looks like. And then I just started like, oh, she's interesting. So then I started following you around, and I was like, you know what? She has a great story. I want to have her on the show. So then I reached out, and then you did. It was like, hey, who are you?
And then I started to follow you.
Yeah.
Well, who's this guy who's reaching out to me? Which, by the way, that's a great point. I always say to people, if someone likes you right away or pays you a compliment, what do you think right away? Oh, they're pretty smart. I think I like them.
Right.
So one of the gifts I have is I do genuinely love people. And I love finding the ingredient in them that makes them unique and special.
Right.
But as soon as you give feedback to someone based authentically on who they are and you see them for that, it does connect you. So if I were to say to anybody here today is, don't hold back on giving positive feedback to people. Just do it. But it has to be sincere and authentic. And not that you're in it to get something out of the person, but if you just genuinely say something nice to someone and connect, it bridges wonderful relationships. But I love what you say, that you want to meet new people. And that is so cool. One of the things in there I talk about under resilience, when you go through tough times, I cite a couple doctors in there who were, during COVID, talking about, because I do believe, by the way, people still have COVID hangover. I think we still see and feel the remnants of COVID, where people were isolated and marriages went bad and kids weren't in school and isolation and people not talking like this. I think we still have it a little bit, but one of the best things to do is have connections with other people. Have connections, have compassion, be grateful for what you have in your life every day. It's one of the number one ways to create happiness, by the way, and that's in my book. One of the number one ways to be happy in life is to think about and start your day with what you're grateful for, end your day with what are you grateful for? People always talk about things that I don't do every day, and I will admit this. I wish I was more disciplined every single day to pray every single day and meditate every day. I don't do it every single day, but I have to tell you, I saw my little heart squeeze ball, so I'm like, okay, Jo, what's more like you? So here's what I do now. Years ago, I took my son to see Field of Dreams, one of the best movies ever. Thank you. If you love that movie, it says something about you. But Adam, I think he was 12 or 13. He was a baseball player. We sat there watching the movie, and I took his hand, and I squeezed it 3 times, and I went, I love you. So now what I start my day with this squeeze balls, I sit there, and this is my prayer and meditation, but I sit there and I go, I love my life. I love Bruce. I literally go through everybody in my whole family, my friends. Today, I started with you. I love Mark Powers. I love Imagine Better. But it's my way to do it. But I'm sitting there and hopefully I'm making my fingers stronger. No, I'm kidding. But you got to do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
But I do know the key is it's more important to be disciplined than just motivated.
Yeah.
Motivated can last for a few seconds and then it's gone. But if you get into routines and discipline, that is better for you.
That is interesting that you say that, because the discipline is the activation. So, and I've said this on the other, in fact, when Jacob Brown was on the show, him and I talked about motivation. You go to a Grant Cardone or any Tony Robbins or whatever event you go to, and you're motivated. It spiritually sometimes lifts you, it emotionally lifts you.
Yes.
But then what happens? That energy dissipates post-event. Mm-hmm. So I always like to say the discipline, you motivate to activate, right?
Yes.
Instead of like motivation, activation. So just kind of play a spin on that. But that's the discipline. And I myself am trying to be more disciplined on a daily basis. Like today, I work out every day. And now I've shifted from going to the gym. I'm on this new kick. It's a 60-day program I'm doing, and it's in homes. I have my own gym at home.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there today, and I was telling Jay Johnson this last week. It's probably been maybe a month, maybe not even a month yet, but I've been doing, for the first time in my life, meditation.
Good for you.
And I just sit there, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I'm just like crossing my legs. I'm just zoning out, getting my thoughts collected.
Yes.
But you know what, Joe? I'm telling you, this peace that just comes over me, it's such a great way to start my day. And then I finally get up, I start getting ready for the day, and I'll journal. Not every day. I try to journal every day.
Yes.
Sometimes that's the discipline. I got to be more disciplined.
Yes.
But meditation helps me become more aware so that I can be more disciplined.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And I will say, those who do something every single day, kudos to you.
Yeah.
I'm 5 to 6 days a week kind of girl.
Yeah.
I'm not an every single day. I always say the one thing I do know I do every single day is I wake up. Thank you, God.
Yes.
It is the one thing, and I acknowledge that, and I'm grateful for that.
You're not kidding.
The rest of it's up to me. But Susie Dahlman and I talked about, she's the most disciplined person I know. She, every single day, prays, meditates, does yoga, walks 4 miles, watches what she eats, and she says, Joe, I had to do that in order to feed my brain after my accident. She goes, that's the only thing that kept me so alive. But it's such a disciplined routine in her life. Yeah. She has an accountability coach. She has coaches that she meets with like every single week to keep her on track in life. So to me, whether you're a golfer, whatever you are, to get outside help of someone to support you, to hold yourself a little more accountable, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's always our
intentions. That's part of that growth journey for us.
What's that?
That's part of our growth journey.
Yeah, it is.
And there used to be an old saying, and some of it I believe, but a lot of it I kind of changed it based off my own growth journey. A lot of people used to say, if it is to be, it's up to me. You ever heard that?
We used to say it in Carnegie all the time.
Yeah.
It's 2-letter words that you always say it.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
But so then I added to it, because I do believe in myself.
Yes.
Okay. So I used to say, now I say, if it is to be, it's up to me, and having the faith in the God. So now I just because without him, we can go out and inspire and do things and lift ourselves up, right? But I think people have to have faith.
Okay, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. I thought you were going to say, if it is to be, it's up to me and we, because I believe it's the other people in our support system in life too. Whether that's God or the most amazing friends in life. Yeah. But we do get that from support from outside support.
So as we wrap up episode 11, what do we want to share real quick? And wow, episode 11 already.
11, good for you.
I tell you.
Okay, that's awesome. You're on a roll.
I feel good about it. I like the direction that it's headed. I do. I get nervous still, but not as much as I was when I first started. And it's interesting. So Terry Bean, I told you the story. He was the inaugural guest, the pilot show, and it was the content was amazing. The lighting, the studio wasn't all dialed in. The sound sucked. It was terrible. But I had an opportunity to bring him back on, I have the opportunity. He'll be back in this studio He'll be in here for the first time since the inaugural next Wednesday. So he's all excited, and I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And so it's the Tao of being. So it'd be interesting. I don't know what Tao that means yet, but knowing Terry, he's gonna take us on a journey. But yeah, the show, I love it. This is great, and having guests like you now, I do consider you my friend because the connection that we have, the laughs, the smiles, the sharing of just life things is in our books. We have things in common. I mean, yeah, I don't see this as just, okay, bye, Joe.
No.
I see us staying connected. And,
no, we will stay
yes.
connected. And again, for anybody and everybody,
that.
You want to hang out with like-minded people.
Yeah.
We are like-minded in the fact that you just want to better your best and talk with people who are inspiring, who are out to help the world better their best.
Yes.
So again, I thank you for including me amongst your group of goats.
No doubt,
I call them goats. Greatest of all time is what's in my book. I hope I'm one of your goats now.
You're my goat, one of them. Everybody, episode 11. I am excited. Joe Bruce in the studio today. I'll have all the information how to get a hold of her, how you can buy her book, Better Your Best, in the description. And obviously, as you guys have been seeing, my pre and post marketing efforts, showing you the new lineup of guests coming in and the amazing guests that have already been in here. And next Wednesday, you'll be able to watch this episode of Joe and myself. And wow, what a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Come back every Wednesday, or at least next Wednesday, for Happy Hump Day.
No doubt. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notifications so you don't miss other amazing episodes. And remember, share this content so we can reach others across communities and help them become better, help them better your best, or even their best, right?
Absolutely.
We want them to be the best version of themselves.
And I like to say cheers.
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 Imagine better.